You know what? I just feel like everything at Manchester United is rotten right now. I wake up to find out that Delap is probably going to join Chelsea. Like, I mean, who wants to come to Manchester United right now? Zirkzee season is most likely over, but we've got the Europa League. You know, I don't care about the Premier League. I care about the Europa League. But when you don't have Zirkzee, when you don't have Ahmad, when you didn't replace Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, and you sit there and you wonder why the attack is crap and why we can't score goals, and we hope that Bruno's going to do something mad for us and win the Europa League, I'm losing hope. Lyon's going to be a difficult game, and all I care about is the Europa League, and I care way too much about the Europa League, but we need to win it. We're going to talk about Manchester United. We're going to talk about all the news in this 10-minute roundup. We're going to talk about everything going on, but I feel for Amorim. I feel for Ruben Amorim. 6 wins in 21 games. Yes, that's not very good, but we talked about how rubbish the squad was under Ten Hag. Under Amorim, we lost Rashford, we lost Anthony, we didn't replace them, only one new addition to come in, and then Ahmad's got injured, and now Zirkzee's got injured. And the squad that we spoke about being so bad under Ten Hag is now Leach is out, De Ligt's out, Ahmad's out, Zirkzee's out, Rashford's gone, Anthony's gone, not replaced. Dorgu's the only new signing in, that's a kid. We've spoken about how bad the squad was under Ten Hag, yet people expect it to be so much better under Amorim when nobody's come in, and I feel sorry for Amorim. But let's get into the news. Let's get into the stories because there is news on goalkeeper replacements. There is news on Anthony's exit advancing. And I do want to talk about Harry Amas because there is some positive news coming out about him. So, Ruben Amorim was asked about Zirkzee versus Lyon, and he said, I think it's over. Now, we don't know for sure if it's over, but the fact that it looked like Zirkzee had done his hamstring, and that is normally, a 6 to 8 week injury, it looks like Joshua Zirkzee's season is probably over. It's normally a 2-month injury. We don't have 2 months left in the season. And when Højlund went over 20 games without scoring a goal, when Garnacho also recently went over 20 games without scoring a goal, and Zirkzee's comfortably been our best attacker these last 3 months, that is worrying because Højlund and Garnacho are out of form, Ahmad is injured, Zirkzee's injured, Bruno's done best in the midfield, Mason Mount can't stay fit. There's very few options up there. Maybe Kobbie Mainoo is a 10. Maybe he can bring a bit of technicality there, see how he does. But it is really, really worrying because I really want to win the Europa League. I'm sure you guys want to win the Europa League, but this team is crap. The truth of the matter is, you look at the side we're going to line up against Lyon with no Zirkzee, no Ahmad, no this player, no that player. It is Bruno Fernandes and just, Yoro's great, got great potential. Mainoo's great, got great potential, but potential's a big part in that. De Ligt has been solid, but the goalkeepers aren't good enough. The strikers can't score goals. It's worrying how we've got to this point, how we spent so much money, and we've got to this point where the club it feels rotten. It feels that everything good will just turn bad. It feels that every time we hit a new low, we reach another low. Last season was an all-time low. This season's even lower. We thought Ralph Rangnick's season was an all-time low. This season's way lower. The only thing we've got is at least we're 1 point better than Spurs. And Spurs are bloody dreadful right now. Like, this season has been an absolute mess. And you bring Ruben Amorim in mid-season, and you insist to Ruben Amorim he's got to come in mid-season, even though you keep talking about how little money we've got to spend, how we've got no money to spend. We've got no money to spend, but mid-season you insist a manager that plays the polar opposite football to Ten Hag with a very different system on formation, which will require 6 or 7 signings. You insist he comes in mid-season. You've got no money to spend, but you want to bring in a manager that plays very different football that will need 6 or 7 signings, and insist he comes in mid-season when there is no money to spend. Maybe that's so we can learn about the squad so we have a better idea of what we need to do in the summer. But I feel for Ruben Amorim, and people are giving him sticks. Some people saying he won't survive next season. I think if they sack him, it's ridiculous. It's clearly that the players are crap. You can't blame Amorim for Onana and Bayindir making mistakes. You can't blame Amorim for Højlund not scoring about 1 goal in 20 games. You can't. You can't blame Amorim when he's got no Ahmad, he's got no Zirkzee. So let's talk about it. Ahmad should be back early May, fingers crossed. But if we get knocked out by Lyon, there's no point. There's no point in rushing him back. So he could be back for the semi-final of the Europa League, potentially. Zirkzee injured could be season-ending. Rashford, Sancho, and Anthony out on loan, and none of them replaced. We've got to hope that Sancho starts scoring some more goals so Chelsea buy him. They are looking at buying Antony and Rashford. I think we'll find a buyer for. But if we don't offload Sancho, Rashford, and Antony, we won't be able to do that much in the summer. So we know there's a lot to do in the summer. We know there's a lot to do in the summer to fix this mess. But we also know that Rashford, Sancho, and Antony, they need to be sold. They need to go so we can sort out this mess. Maybe a Garnacho as well for FFP. The only fit players are an out of form Hoyland and Garnacho. Now I'm glad Garnacho scored a goal because I think that will give him confidence. I also think he's better on the right. And Garnacho, I think when in form and confident, is a good player. Same with Hoyland, but we've not even seen any of that from Hoyland this season. At least we see glimpses from Garnacho. But Cheeto's not available for Europa League. It is Hoyland and Garnacho, who both went over 20 games without scoring a goal, as our only fit attackers for this game versus Sociedad. And not Sociedad, Leon. Why do I keep saying Sociedad? And the worst part about it is, at least if Onana hadn't let in that howler, we'd have taken a 2-1 lead to Old Trafford, knowing that we don't need to necessarily score and we can just defend and maybe get a goal on the break. And that would play into our advantage. Now we know we need to score. And look, Zirkzee scored two of our most important goals in Europa League. A big goal away in Sociedad and a big goal away in Lyon. And he's going to be out. And he's being more prolific lately. You know, it's Bruno and Hope. It's Bruno and Hope. Because we can't even use Cheeto. And I said this in my match reaction yesterday. I don't care anymore when it comes to the Premier League. Just play Amas, play Morehouse. There's no point playing Ericsson. There's no point playing Lindelof. In 2025, when they're going to leave, play Amas, play Morehouse, play the youth. The one positive story coming in is that Real Betis are in advanced negotiations to sign Antony on a permanent transfer. Manchester United, I think they could get 40 million, but I think we'll probably get 25 to 30 million for Antony, and I will take that. That's him off, and then we can continue on other business deals. But we need Sancho gone, obviously Rashford gone, and maybe Garnacho goes for FFP. You know, Cunha wants Manchester United. Apparently, he's willing to say yes to United, but there's now talks that Chelsea are accelerating talks to sign United target Delap. Chelsea are now the favourites to sign Liam Delap. Probably watched us play yesterday and probably decided he wanted to go to Chelsea, maybe, I don't know. The thing is, I will say, is Chelsea will be in Europe. Chelsea are a better side right now, but Chelsea are very unstable. That just because they're a better side right now doesn't mean they'll be a better side than us next season. You know, they don't have the best ownership either. And I think Liam Delap, if you've got to compete with the million youngsters Chelsea buy and Jackson, or a Manchester United attack with only Hoyland and Garnacho fit right now, you know you're going to play week in, week out in that Man United attack. You don't know that at Chelsea. But, you know, Chelsea, they'll get the business done. If both Man United and Chelsea want Delap, Chelsea will make moves quicker. They will make moves earlier. And Delap being Man City Academy, maybe he doesn't want Man United. Maybe he doesn't want Manchester United, but I think Delap could be going to Chelsea. But they're, you know, just because they're above us in the league, these last 3 months, Chelsea haven't been that much better than us. They've been pretty poor. Continuing on, United are looking at goalkeepers, which is good news. United are seriously considering a move for a new first-choice goalkeeper following Anana's errors against Lyon. Lucas Chevalier of Lille would be my first choice. James Trafford of Burnley, I believe, is going to go to Newcastle United. And Sen Lemans of Royal Antwerp. I would like Lucas Chevalier of Lille. If not, maybe a Joan Garcia, but it depends on the fee. I don't think we're in a position to spend more than 20 million on a goalkeeper because I don't think we've got that much funds this summer. That's the truth of the matter. Now, there was something positive I wanted to talk about yesterday, and that was Harry Amas. He started in one of the toughest stadiums against a team that is in a good period, and I think he did well. He must continue, and we must help all the young players reach a higher level of performance. I thought Harry Amas did well. There's a point where he made a really good run with the ball, and I think on the ball and technicality is very good. I think elements of his defensive game can improve, but he's young, he's raw, and I like what he brings going forward. It was also said by Nathan Salt that Diogo Dalot, Maguire and Mount have been invaluable to Amas's integration into the first team. Apparently they've been working with him, which is good to see. And insiders, it says insiders, but I missed the I, insiders at Manchester United have been left impressed with both Harry Amas's work ethic and resilience leading to his first start versus Newcastle, which is good to see because Harry Amas was involved a bit in pre-season. There was a feeling he could get minutes early on and then was sort of ignored because United wanted him to work on his physicality and everything. But now, you know, he's starting to get those opportunities. He's worked hard, he's put his head down. He's probably also realised he's only 18. He can fight for a place in the squad. Just because he's not getting minutes at 17 doesn't mean he's not going to get minutes at all. So it is very good to see Harry Amas come in, get minutes, and not just that, but also play well. Anyway, thank you for watching today's video. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm just feeling a bit crap about Man United at the moment. I didn't even want to go live today because I just don't want to talk about this for half an hour, 40 minutes. I feel a bit crap about everything, but pardon me. If we can knock out Leon, I'll be in a much better mood. Thank you for watching. Bye.